Chapter 416. Encountering Wolves. Finally fix this meridian. With this meridian that connects to my dantian, I will be able to activate the Kangxia hegemony blood and enter into a battle state at any time. With the strength of my fleshly body today, once I enter a combat state, I can completely defeat some early stage Yuanying cultivators. Kangxia was secretly surprised. Because of the lack of true essence, none of his divine abilities could be executed. At this time, his bottom card was only left with the talent brought by this Kangxia hegemony blood. Battle state. As long as he entered the battle state, his battle power doubled, and this was his best means to save his life now. Continue repairing the meridians. After the excitement, Kangxia continued to start the Great Repair Project. It was just that he, who was focused on repairing his injuries, didn't even notice that the danger was already slowly approaching. Not far away in the middle of the jungle, a pair of dark red eyes were flashing with a demonic light. A golden unicorn wolf, leading a pack of blue giant wolves, was stepping through the dense grass and traveling towards the Bai family's caravan. At this moment, Kangxia was only focused on repairing the injuries in his body, but he did not notice the approach of the wolves. In the entire caravan, only the blue-clothed woman in the luxurious carriage suddenly woke up from her cultivation, gently frowned, and whispered suspiciously, "Strange. Why do I suddenly have a feeling that my heart is pounding? Could it be that there is danger?" It had to be said that the blue-clothed woman's vigilance was very high. As soon as she sensed that something was wrong, she immediately stepped out of the carriage, flew and stepped onto the top of a huge tree nearby, and scanned towards the grass not far away. At this glance, she immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. In her line of sight, tens of thousands of giant wolves were coming towards them. These giant wolves were not weak. Among them, there were thousands of Foundation Establishment stage, and there were 5 of Jidan stage. Especially the golden-colored giant wolves were the strongest, and even she had some heart palpitations. At the time when the woman in blue saw the wolves, that golden one-horned giant wolf also saw her, and all of a sudden, one person and one wolf just stared at each other with wide eyes. Afterwards, two loud voices resounded through the clouds. "Enemy attack!" The blue-clothed woman let out a long whistle without any poise, while the golden-colored, one-horned giant wolf let out a shocking roar, then pounced with her wolf pack at extreme speed. The bloody aura immediately filled the entire forest. In the carriage, Kangxia fiercely opened his eyes, and two purple rays of light flashed out. Roar! A terrifying roar resounded through the clouds, and the originally silent forest instantly boiled. The earth shook. 10,000 horses galloped, and a beast roar came from all directions, as if the sky was roaring with thunder unceasingly. Swish! Kangxia opened his eyes at the first opportunity. Then, with a flash of his figure, he had appeared on the roof of the carriage. He squinted his eyes and scanned towards the dark jungle. Wolves! Seeing the wolves coming ferociously in front of him, Kangxia immediately stared. This wave of wolves numbered over 10,000. Even if he met them now, he could only flee. He could not fight against them. Everyone ... defense. Not far away came the yell of Butler Wong, commanding a bloodthirsty knight, who began to arrange for defense under the green-clothed woman's reminder. Kangxia swept a glance at the bloodthirsty knights below with calm faces. He couldn't help but slightly nod his head. These people's hearts were good, but facing such a wolf pack, even if they were victorious, it would be a miserable victory. Roar! The speed of the wolves was very fast, plus they had already approached the caravan earlier. So in just a few moments, the battle of the wolves and men began. The tragic battle, with splattered flesh and blood, danced under the night. The bloodthirsty aura filled the entire forest, and the cold moonlight was no match for the coldness of the lances in the hands of the bloodthirsty knights. Facing the huge number of wolves, The only advantage of the bloodthirsty knights was the skilled combining momentum. They had been training together since they were young, and then cultivated together, and had their own set of skilled combining method, which could increase their combat power by a lot. First to come were the ordinary wolves, also known as the cannon fodder wolves, which were under the command of the golden one-horned giant wolf, constantly launching attacks. However, because they were too weak, they were unable to break down the bloodthirsty knight's defense at all. However, for the golden unicorn giant wolf, these were just cannon fodder that consumed the bloodthirsty knight's strength. The elite wolves in the back were the real deadly threat. Kang Chia couldn't help but be slightly surprised. This golden unicorn giant wolf had obviously been born with wisdom, knowing that it would first use cannon fodder to consume the bloodthirsty knight's strength before launching a general attack. If I want to crush the wolf pack, I'm afraid that I have to destroy this golden unicorn giant wolf first, Kang Chia thought in his heart. And there was also the woman in blue who had the same thought. At this time, she coldly looked at the battle situation in the field, her eyes gradually becoming gloomy. Obviously, she had also discovered the plot of the golden unicorn giant wolf. Kang Chia faintly sized up the woman in blue and secretly thought, I wonder how this woman will choose. Is it a defense or a surprise attack? If it was him, he would definitely choose to raid, because a long defense would be lost, and even if it was defended, the bloodthirsty knight would definitely be heavily injured, which would not be conducive to the fight for the true dragon blood spring afterwards. Roar. Just as Kang Chia was curious about the blue-clothed woman's choice, the golden one, Han giant wolf not far away once again out a loud roar. It seemed to be transmitting some kind of order to the wolves. Upon hearing this loud roar, the wolves began to make a move, and a 3-meter-long giant wolf gradually galloped from the back, launching a fierce attack on the bloodthirsty knight. These 3-meter-long wolves were the elite of the wolf pack, and each one of them had the strength of the foundation establishment stage, which was not below the bloodthirsty knights. And coupled with the advantage of the number of wolves, the bloodthirsty knights immediately felt a huge pressure. Soon after, there began to be bloodthirsty knights who were seriously injured and even fell. When the blue-clothed woman and Butler Wong saw this scene, their faces instantly turned ugly, but they didn't rush to make a move. This was because besides the palpitating golden one-horned giant wolf, at the back of the wolf pack, there were also 5 silver giant wolves with bodies as long as 10 meters. And although the strength of these silver giant wolves was not as good as that of the golden one, horn giant wolves, each and every one of them was a Jidan stage powerhouse. Precisely because of the fear of these 5 silver giant wolves and golden unicorn giant wolves. Even after seeing the heavy losses of the bloodthirsty knights, the woman in blue and Butler Wong did not make any moves, and they did not even call on Kang Chia to make a move. Eldest miss, what should we do now? This kind of pack of ferocious beasts is the most difficult to deal with. They won't rest until they kill all their enemies. Even if we run, it's useless. But Butler Wong looked at these ferocious wolves with a chilled face, his eyes filled with worrying. This time they were really unlucky. Pack-dwelling ferocious beasts like wolves were rarely seen in the forest of misty trails. Sister, don't worry. Zikong will protect you. Beside the luxurious carriage, Bai Kong, who had a pale face, was saying with a firm face at this moment. Butler Wong was a little stunned at his words, while surprised. A hint of relief appeared on his face as he laughed. With young master's words, the wolves aren't scary anymore, haha. The blue-clothed woman's icy face couldn't help but show a smile at this moment, as she tenderly touched Bai Kang's little head, and softly said, "Little Kong is a good boy. Go back to the carriage. And when sister kills these beasts, she come back to tell you a story." "Sister, I want to fight too." Big brother said that only by experiencing a real battle can I realize the essence of the tiger-killing fist. Bai Kong said with a firm face. The blue-clothed woman immediately frowned slightly and couldn't help but complain about the heavens in her heart. Then continued to persuade Bai Kong to enter the carriage. Although Bai Qiang's talent was good, but because he was too young, his cultivation so far was only at the peak of the chair practicing stage. Far from the foundation establishment stage, killing some ordinary giant wolves would be fine. But right now most of the battlefield was filled with foundation establishment stage giant wolves, which was not something he could deal with at all. Young master, it's dangerous now. When we return to Penglai Immortal Island, the old man will find you some more beasts for you to practice boxing, okay? But Luong also persuaded from the side. But Bai Kong just didn't agree to go back to the carriage. The woman in blue and Butler Wong were suddenly helpless. At this time, a figure ***** came and landed beside them. Eldest Miss, Butler Wong, let Zikong be under my care. I guarantee he'll be fine. The person who came was none other than Kang Tia. He touched Bai Qiang's little head and said with a smile,